Is LaMelo Ball on the way to becoming the next great point guard? His game has drawn comparisons to the great Magic Johnson and has been dubbed the next Steph Curry, but on steroids. They also said that about his brother Lonzo. Now, while these things may or may not be true, there's no denying that LaMelo Ball is a player with immense talent and potential. And in this video, we'll be looking at exactly how high the ceiling of that potential is for him. And towards the end, we'll talk about a rare attribute in LaMelo's game that seems to be a surefire guarantee that he'll become the next great point guard of this generation. But before we dive into that, let's talk a little bit about his unconventional journey to the NBA. From a young age, LaMelo was touted as a future star, with his flashy ball handling and exceptional court vision. LaMelo's journey to the NBA started at Chino Hills High School. It was here that he would first make a name for himself on the national stage, leading his team to an undefeated record and a state championship as a freshman. LaMelo's flashy style of play drew crowds of fans and media attention wherever he went. But it also drew criticism from those who felt like he was too focused on his own individual success. The controversy around LaMelo only grew when he, LiAngelo, and LeVar decided that their best move at the time was to forego college and play professionally overseas. The two brothers signed with Prinai Birštonas Vaitatas, a team in the Lithuanian Basketball League. And while the move was seen as a bold one, it was also criticized by some who felt the brothers were sacrificing their education and development for the sake of publicity. Despite the criticism, LaMelo continued to shine on the court, putting up impressive numbers and showing off his trademark flair. In 2019, he returned to the United States and played in the Junior Basketball Association, a league founded by his father, LeVar Ball. LaMelo was the star of the league, leading his team to the championship and earning the league's Most Valuable Player award. However, it was clear that LaMelo's talents were too big to be contained in the JBA. So he returned to high school for his senior year to finish out his high school playing career at Spire Institute in Ohio. He was a 5-star recruit and committed to UCLA, but college eligibility concerns caused him to forego college and start his professional basketball career by taking his talents to the Illawarra Hawks of the NBL in Australia. In 2020, LaMelo declared for the NBA draft, and despite questions about his shooting ability and defensive prowess, was selected 3rd overall by the Charlotte Hornets. It was a dream come true for the young player, who'd been working towards this moment for his entire life. And LaMelo's rookie season in the NBA was nothing short of remarkable. He quickly established himself as one of the most exciting young players in the league, putting up big numbers and breaking records along the way. In January of 2021, he became the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double, and he continues to impress with his flashy passes and highlight reel finishes. However, if you've been closely following LaMelo's career up to this point, you might have noticed that he has one special attribute that sets him apart from most basketball players, even many players at the highest levels. And many are saying this attribute will undoubtedly make him the point guard of this generation. But before we get into exactly what this attribute is, let's break Melo's overall game down and see if he's developing in the same fashion as other point guards we've seen in the past. If you've watched LaMelo Ball play for any length of time, then you've seen the unique and carefree, yet electrifying playing style that he brings to the game. Listed at 6'7", he's a large point guard with the mobility to do things that most players at his height struggle to do. He has a tall and lanky frame that gives him an advantage on both ends of the court. His height and wingspan allow him to get to the rim and finish over some of the biggest trees in the lane. His size also allows him to see over defenders, make passes, and make plays that other players can't usually make at his position. This is one of the main reasons he's often compared to Magic Johnson, the legendary point guard of the Los Angeles Lakers. And while the two players have their differences, there are certainly some similarities in their playing styles that make the comparison interesting. First of all, Magic was a large point guard, standing at 6'9" and weighing in at over 200 pounds. LaMelo's a bit smaller, standing at 6'7" and weighing in at around 180 pounds. However, both players have exceptional length and athleticism, allowing them to be effective on both ends of the floor. Very reminiscent of Magic, LaMelo Ball's court vision and playmaking ability are some of his greatest strengths. He has a unique ability to see the entire court and throw pinpoint dimes to his teammates that put them in the perfect position to score. His ability to read defenses and anticipate where his teammates will be is impressive for a player of his age. He also has a knack for making flashy passes that leave fans on the edge of their seats. And for the defense, trying to limit LaMelo's playmaking is always a daunting task, especially since it's combined with an elite ball handling ability. LaMelo's matchup is always in for a tough night, often left guessing and scrambling to keep up with him. And while this 1-2 playmaking punch may be very similar to Magic, the ball handling styles of the two players are actually quite different. Magic was known for his ability to weave in and out of defenders, often using his height and length to his advantage. And while both players share a certain level of creativity and flair with the ball, LaMelo has a more unorthodox style, often dribbling the ball with his left hand and using a variety of crossovers, behind-the-back moves, and hesitations to create separation from his opponents, all of which are byproducts of the evolution of today's game. Melo has a loose and free-flowing style that often allows him to get past defenders and make plays with ease. Also, LaMelo's scoring ability has been increasingly impressive since he entered the league. He's shown that he can score in a variety of ways, including driving to the basket, hitting mid-range jumpers, and shooting from beyond the arc. His shooting ability has been particularly impressive, as he's shown that he can hit shots from anywhere on the court. And when making the comparison to Magic Johnson, Melo's scoring style is also an area of his game that diverges. Magic was a more traditional scorer, often using his size and strength to get to the basket or hitting mid-range jumpers. LaMelo, on the other hand, has a more versatile scoring game, able to hit shots from beyond the arc or finish at the rim with acrobatic layups. While Magic was certainly capable of scoring in bunches, he was always more focused on getting his teammates involved and running the offense. Melo's scoring style may be more similar to that of Steph Curry, who many are beginning to regard as the greatest point guard of all time. And if you could remember a couple years ago, LeVar did say that Melo was going to be better than Steph Curry. Now, this is obviously a biased statement coming from his father, but here we are now. And while Melo may not yet be the lights-out, clutch-time shooter that Curry is, he certainly seems to have the same fearless mindset and willingness to attempt big shots that most players would be too scared to take. And that's the mindset required to reach the legendary Curry scoring level. Similar to Steph, Melo's known for his ability to hit shots from beyond the arc with ease, often hitting shots from well beyond the three-point line. And since entering the NBA, LaMelo's continued to develop and improve all of these facets of his game. He's also continued to perfect his ability to create his own shot off the dribble, as well as his ability to score in clutch situations. His ball handling skills have become even more impressive, and his court vision has also continued to develop, as he's become more patient in waiting for his teammates to get open before making a pass. His all-around scoring ability has also dramatically improved, as he's become much more aggressive in attacking the basket and taking more daring shots from beyond the arc. Now, while his physical skill set is well documented, one critical area of Melo's game that still needs further development is the mental aspect, specifically his leadership abilities. He's still young, still learning the nuances of the game, and has tremendous potential to become an impactful leader as he builds more knowledge and experience. But he still needs to learn the value of solid communication, the importance of setting the tone on the court, and the impact of his decisions on the outcome of the game. These soft skills are the prerequisites for becoming a great point guard, as was the case with John Stockton, who was one of the greatest point guards of all time. Stockton was a leader, on and off the court, and was a master of the pick and roll. He had the ability to read the game and make the right decisions at the right time, and he was a great communicator with his teammates. Stockton's leadership style was focused on knowledge and experience, and he was often willing to take a back seat to allow his teammates to shine. LaMelo has shown flashes of this leadership potential, but he still needs to continue to develop this area of his game. However, there's one unique facet of his game rarely seen in any player at any level. And this attribute is so powerful, it practically guarantees that as long as he stays healthy, he'll become the next great point guard of this generation. What is this rare and special attribute? It's his fearless mentality. And it's not just a highly competitive mentality like we've seen in many of the greats. It's different because it's more of a laid-back, free-flowing, unbothered type of mentality. Melo's often referenced this mentality when asked about how he's dealt with the pressure to perform on so many different stages in such a short amount of time during his come-up. And he always says the same thing. It's just basketball. This attribute is rare because nearly any other person would at least be a little intimidated when facing some of the best opponents in the world, even if they hide it or have other ways to deal with it. And self-doubt is the main thing that stops players from excelling at the next level. Melo doesn't seem to even know what self-doubt feels like. He has a unique ability to not second-guess himself on the court at all. And this level of fearlessness is especially rare in young players. This fearless mindset allows him to make bold and creative plays on the court. He isn't afraid to try new things or take risks, which often leads to exciting and unexpected moments. His willingness to experiment with different moves and techniques shows that he's not content to play it safe and is always looking to push his own boundaries. But perhaps the most impressive thing about LaMelo Ball's fearless mindset is how it impacts his teammates. His confidence and fearlessness on the court inspires those around him to play with more energy and intensity. He has a way of making those around him believe that anything is possible, and that's a rare quality in a player. I mean, this guy will literally throw an alley-oop between his legs off the backboard to a teammate in the middle of a close game. We saw him doing this in high school, and he hasn't stopped doing it in the NBA. As LaMelo Ball's career progresses, it's clear that his fearless mindset will continue to be a defining trait of his game. He may make some mistakes along the way, but he'll never stop pushing himself to be better and take on bigger challenges. Overall, LaMelo Ball's journey to the NBA has been a wild ride, full of ups and downs, controversies, and moments of pure brilliance. From his days as a child prodigy to his record-breaking rookie season, LaMelo has always had a unique style and a relentless determination to succeed. And with that kind of attitude, it's no wonder why so many people are already calling him the next great point guard.